Hellboy 2019 is an absolutely horrendous reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it, of the actually surprisingly good and catchy Hellboy films by Guillermo del Toro of the mid 2000s. Hellboy 2019 stars David Harbour from Stranger Things fame, along with Milla Jovovich, Daniel Day Kim, the ever fabulous Ian McShane, and a few others in there as well. This film it's hard to follow because it's just piss poor. There's no other way to put it. The film doesn't have a very strong plot. A lot of through lines and things like that don't pan out, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Along with a lot of really bad CGI, both like CGI blood that shoots everywhere, or these little like demonic figures that are like stabbing people. I mean, the film has King Arthur thrown in here. It's got the Blood Witch Nimue, which is Milla Jovovich's character, and a couple other folks in there. It's got giants that are just like these amalgamation of a CGI character that you're just like, turn the shit off almost as soon as you see it. The film is horrible. It opens up with kind of a little montage of scenes that take place like around 500, around the year 500, with Milla Jovovich's character, who is caught and killed by King Arthur. He cuts her head off, chops her into little pieces, sends those pieces throughout the world, and then it flashes forward to present day, where Hellboy's down in Mexico, and he's tracked down this luchador ring where an agent from the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Development or whatever is looking for this vampire-like coven, and turns out that these luchadors are the vampires. So the luchador turns into a vampire, tries to attack Hellboy. Hellboy, slaps him around a little bit and throws him over, and he gets impaled by a piece of the ring, and then dies after transforming back into the agent that was caught. Tells Hellboy that the end is nigh, it's coming to get you. Hellboy then goes back, and you see the man Ian McShane pop up, and even he cannot save this film. It's that big of a pile of steaming dog shit that even Ian McShane seems like he doesn't want to be there. He's still giving his best. He's still giving his best like he always does, but it's not very good. David Harbour does good in the role of Hellboy. I just prefer Ron Perlman's performance in the original two Hellboy films. The jokes in those films seem to flow better versus in this one. They try to inject a little bit of humor, and the jokes really fall flat. They don't really make much sense, and they seem to just be kind of an afterthought that was thrown in there. Like some big fight scene will happen, a lot of people die and things like that, and then Hellboy's like, I told him to fuck off, he didn't listen. And you're like, that doesn't work. It's just like, okay, next thing, like, get out of here, Hellboy. This is not the Hellboy that we grew up on. This is not Hellboy from the comics. This is Hellboy from some other alternate dimension, and it's like, it just doesn't fucking work. But either way, Hellboy then is sent on a mission to meet up with the Osiris Club, who says there's a couple giants out there wreaking havoc in England somewhere. So he goes there, and they track down the giants, but before they can get to the giants, these guys turn on Hellboy. They shoot him with something. He falls into the river, and that's when the giants show up, and they end up killing all of the Osiris Club members. Hellboy then tracks down the giants, kills all the giants, passes out due to exhaustion, wakes up in the home of a little girl who he had saved from some fairies, 10, 20 years ago, whatever. They give a little flashback of him finding out that, this baby's not really a human baby, it's a changeling baby. Threatens the little changeling, which is like this little like pigman kind of thing, brands him with some iron. He leaves, runs off, curses Hellboy, brings back the baby, who ends up becoming a medium, or is a medium, and she's the one that saves Hellboy. That's when Daniel Day Kim then shows up into the film, and you find out later that he's kind of a werepanther or a werejaguar or something like that, and it happened when he went out in the jungle, and him and his platoon or whatever, and all of his team was killed except for him, who got scratched and became this monster, another incarnation of this werejaguar. And Daniel Day Kim's pretty good actor himself, but in this, he's just kind of there. He's doing that like stern, hard look at the camera all the time, and like, I'm gonna kill you, Hellboy, if you fuck up, and if you turn on me, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, give the man some better lines. The dialogue is really ham-fisted. and just kind of thrown at you, and you're like, oh, dude, please don't. Please stop this shit. But they don't ever stop it. They just keep going more and more and more, building up before eventually rolling off a cliff in this instance. So this little pigman thing has been running around collecting all of the body parts of Nimue to put her back together, because she's this, immortal witch that, she's not dead, and this is the only thing that can stop Hellboy from this little guy's eyes. Or, but really her goal is just to bring darkness upon Earth, bring all the monsters out of the shadow, all the CGI monsters out of the shadow. Make sure you say that, because in the old film they had a lot of, because Guillermo del Toro is the creature master, so to speak, and he would make these puppets and things like that, or very extensive makeups, and it just doesn't do it in this film. If it can be CGI in this film, they made it CGI. Hellboy is one of the few things that actually had a good makeup on him the entire time. The rest of them really didn't. So they break in, kill everybody who's left at the Osiris thing, and then they find out, or Hellboy finds out, that Ian McShane's character was originally going to kill him back in the day when, they went to stop the Nazis, and, they found Hellboy, and Ian McShane fell in love with him and took him as his own child, raised him. So Hellboy's kind of got that little issue. He's definitely got some father issues, or, what is he supposed to do issues. And it kind of grates on you after a while, that you're just like, Jesus Christ, when will this stop? The film then progresses back to where Ian McShane shows up, and they talk to him a little bit more. He has kind of some heart-to-heart with Hellboy. You're still my son. And then Hellboy goes to meet the witch Baba Yaga in another dimension. And in that dimension, he finds out that they have to go kill Nimue, and she can tell him where she's at. And Hellboy runs off, but it's too late. Nimue is already back to life. She slaps Hellboy around a little bit. And then she has to go off to do, whatever it is she needs to do to bring about the apocalypse in her mind. Which, in this instance, they've got to find the grave of King Arthur. So Nimue ends up wounding the medium, and the only way to get him is to find somebody who knows ancient magic. That person is, of course, Merlin. But either way, so they find Merlin. He's a corpse. He's supposed to be this immortal, he's supposed to be cursed with immortality, and he revives the girl and then brings Excalibur there. Hellboy goes to grab it, but then sees a vision of him basically fulfilling his destiny and ruling over the destruction of Earth. So he doesn't take Excalibur. Excalibur disappears. Merlin then turns to dust, saying he used the last amount of his power to bring Excalibur there. And you're like, oh, fuck me. After Hellboy leaves Merlin, he then kind of goes this really dejected phase where he feels like he's not going to succeed at anything. He's basically just going to bring about the apocalypse. If he doesn't really want to fight, but he ends up showing back up in a chapel church somewhere in England where King Arthur's grave is actually underneath it. Nimue breaks down into it, says there's King Arthur's grave, and at that point she then kills Ian McShane's character. Hellboy then has to pull Excalibur from the stone to then use it to try to kill Nimue. Nimue's, she's already called all the demons from hell, and they're just running around stabbing, killing, and like beating up everybody. And it's like a big CGI fest, a lot of fake blood, a lot of really awful looking demons. Like awful as in not good design, not as in awful as in just bad, evil, malicious creatures. And then Hellboy, of course, takes and rips off his horns, takes Excalibur, cuts Nimue's head off, throws her head down the crack of doom down towards hell, and all the little monsters disappear. And there's a cute little moment where the medium channels Ian McShane's character, and then you find out that, I loved you, Hellboy, it's on you to make your own destiny, blah, 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 and all this other shit. And then, Daniel Day Kim kindly comes to reconcile his were-jaguar self with his human self, so he uses that to fight against Nimue as well, and the giant now pig monster that's been powered up by Nimue, and they kill the pig monster, and it's just fucking awful. There's no other way around this. I much rather would have preferred them to do a continuation of the original Hellboy films with Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman, and David Harbour was doing his best. He was giving it everything he could. And you could just tell that there wasn't much there to start with, and it's really just a shitty film all around. I would not recommend this. It's on HBO right now, so if you watch it there. That way it's free. But I found it hard to get through. I mean, I stopped it for sure 3 different times. It took me to finish the whole film because it was so bad. I said, I wouldn't recommend it, and thank you.